He is a soil expert in scientific research on Bawang Ling. She is a green soldier by Qi Bei. They are ordinary beings in Hainan, telling extraordinary stories. Bawang Ling National Nature Reserve, stretching nearly 30,000 hectares, features endless forests and towering trees. Its complex ecological chain, special tropical monsoon climate, provide an optimal habitat for all kinds of rare wildlife. He is Zhang Chuing and has been living in this mountain since the early 1990s. He used to be a lumberjack. Now he is a ranger on Bawang Ling. From logging to forest protection, he has seen twists and turns.
因为那时候是国民经济需要，90几年开始，国家出台政策以保护停止砍伐之后，我们就恢复了保护。
Currently, he works hard to stop poaching and illegal logging, while taking stats on the habitat of wild plants. Growing up in the mountain, he knows these creatures well. That gives him a special task: to protect black-crested gibbons. Hainan black-crested gibbon was inscribed on the Red List of primates as an extremely dangerous species in 2008. They are rare in number and mainly live in the mountain forest of Bawang Ling. Zhang Qing observes the changes in the population to learn about their reproductive and survival state.
海南长臂猿就是最代表一个动物，目前从10多只，现在发展到20多只了，27只了。
In addition, Zhang Qing is also responsible for protecting and cultivating some rare plants.
这是五唇兰，在我们中国只有2个地方有，一个是我们霸王岭和洛东有小部分。这个物种是极小群物种，很珍惜。我们采的一些种子经过保育育出来的苗之后，我们要拿回这苗来放在山上回归。
Doritis pulcherrima, as Chun mentioned, is a very rare orchid and one of the most distinctive creatures in Bawang Ling. It is extremely demanding in terms of living conditions, and Chun needs to cultivate them for the wild.
很苛刻，它这种要比较耐热，又有点水的石头上，长在石头上的，一般的环境就适应不了它。看了5个唇瓣。
When putting it in a carton, its roots must be kept intact. Avoid putting too many of them in one carton. The faster we relocate the orchids from the culture soil to the wild, the greater their survival rate. Now, Chun needs to find the right place for their release. Doritis pulcherrima generally grows on mountainside, valley walls, or by mountain creeks. It demands high water permeability and retention and only requires a few hours of dappled sunlight daily. Too much sunshine or too little of it could be dangerous. Besides, the orchid absorbs nutrients in a special way. The damp rocks by the mountain creeks often have moss humus on them, which offers nourishment for the roots.
哎呦，石头滑，注意安全啊！往旁边，你不能上的，往旁边上啊！你们，对。 石头面很滑，下个雨。
The slippery mountain road causes trouble. Fortunately, the rangers are experienced. Soon, Chun finds the right place.
好，我们就在这里操作了。有些地方是很少人到过的，比如说悬崖、峭壁，有些陡峭的地方没人到过的。 我们穿过去，可能会发现新的东西。五唇兰长到那个悬崖上、植壁上， 人员到不了的。
They fix the seedlings with hard paper and coat it with a special glue to help it stick to the rocks, thus simulating the habitat of wild Doritis pulcherrima. In the next 6 months, every 10 days or so, they'd climb over the mountain road to observe the growth of these orchids. A heavy rain provides water for the towering old trees, and meanwhile catalyze the fallen leaves into humus. Forests boast the most complex and perfect water retention system and the most diverse ecological mix. On over 49,000 hectares of forest area, inhabit more than 2,000 kinds of wild plants, with a forest coverage rate as high as 97.4%. This place houses the most diverse species on Hainan Island. But who would have expected a totally different scene at Jitsu Bay by Jiangjiang River? Jiangjiang Jitsu Bay is located on the west line, a quite arid area of Hainan, coupled with the southwest dry and hot wind in rainy season and northwest dry hot wind in dry season, as well as the millennia-old wind erosion. This place features a unique tropical coastal desert. Today, tourists who visit the coastal desert at Jitsu Bay would never fail to be amazed by the dense forest in front of them. There is almost no trace of the desert, and the change is traced back to a woman named Tao Fengjiao.
我是长化村民，看到我们长化这个沙漠，我们姐妹们就决定下来，把我们这长化的沙漠变成绿洲。
Just when they made up their minds to grow 1,000 saplings, a strong wind and the quicksand that followed buried their hope.
老天爷都没可怜我们这个人。昨天我们在种，手都没洗干净了，今天就被打死完了，我们怎么办？
The harsh living environment and the strong wind at sea make the goal of building an oasis here so distant.
死亡率达到99%，也就是你种100株树进去，能有一株树成活，那就很了不起了。
The wind and sand can bury saplings, but they can't dampen their enthusiasm. Tao thought of many ways, including the use of nutrition bag for the saplings.
你不要让它那么高，要它壮，苗壮，浇到它的2个月就可以借肥借水，才能耐旱，才拿上山里面去。
Tao also noticed that in Jitsu Bay, where nothing grows, a plant called wild pineapple could grow quite well.
一开始的原因是谁没有大树来顶它，那时候我们种了也没有经验，什么都没有来顶住它，都是靠观光坡这样种下去，就种了就完了。这最后我们就有经验了，就拿这个新阳掌来种野菠萝来种下去。天不怕地不怕，就怕野菠萝，把我手都捣花完。 你太小了，你种下去它不顶到风，那树苗是太小，你要大了它可以的。我们每个树连都是这样，4米宽，4米宽，这边是种了一行野菠萝，就量来4米，就种了一边野菠萝，中间才种树。
This weighs about 65 kilos. Certainly, it will be less laboursome when the trees are nearer. But with no wild pineapples in the high sand dunes, they have to carry them up in baskets.
看到他回来，整个脚啊、手啊这些都是看到都眼泪都快流下来了。
For 30 years, Tao has won everyone's recognition. Later, the local government scaled up support for tree planting and sand control and increased subsidies for tree growers. Tao expanded her team. At times, more than 40 women are there planting trees together.
以前都是陶大姐叫我们这些妇女一起干，我们就一起干了，就是我们能做能挑。
These women have accomplished incredible feats. In a span of more than 20 years, the efforts of over 80 women have created this miraculous, more than 1,300 hectares green field. Today, Tao is again in the place where they used to grow trees, superbly satisfied by the sight of the big coast oaks.
这个是99年种的树，看多大，种下去全部都好了，感觉都全部都变好了。风大来能挡风，树叶干了掉下来，你看一片片的都是压住那个沙地，那沙地风来了，那沙也不能飞得起来，风多大它都不能飞的，那沙子起来了。
To treat the desert in her hometown, Tao and her team have dedicated their youth.
我叫钟英伟，今年53岁，我种树种了25年。
我是陈开秋，今年46岁，种了25年树了。
我叫文静春，今年39岁，我种树种了24年。
我是文英儿，77岁，92年种树到现在26年了。
我是陶凤娇，我59岁了，92年种树，种了26年。
In the twinkling of an eye, time passes and leaves behind the most beautiful traces of life. To Tao Fengjiao, the woods in front are the best reward.